So I made a short of this video, but I wanted to make a longer video so I could explain better. So this is an average house in Cape Coral, Florida, and they're having a sewer backup. So as a plumber trying to clear the sewer, the first thing we want to find is the main sewer clean out outside. There's going to be a pipe coming up that will allow us access to the sewer line and to clear it with a cable or run a camera or whatever we need to do. Now, we know this house is on city sewer, but if you didn't, one way to tell is just to look at the street and try to find manholes. So, if we walk around a little bit, we should be able to find a manhole for this area. You know what? Here it is. Okay, so over here in this neighbor's yard, we see a pipe that says sanitary sewer. So that means this whole area is on city sewer. So now let's go up to the house and we're gonna find their clean out. Now the sewer clean out by code has to be within 3 feet of the perimeter of the house. So we already looked on the right side, so we're gonna walk on the left side. And we're checking within 3 feet of the perimeter of the house. And here we go. This clean out was actually really easy to find. Sometimes they're in bushes, shrubs, sometimes they're buried under all kinds of bushes and branches and stuff, and they're hard to find. But this is a clean out. So your plumber is going to want to come out, and he's going to want to open this and see what's going on. Now, if that thing is full of water coming up to wherever, you can't see the bottom. This one's empty, but let's say it's clogged, it'd be full of water. And sometimes water might be up to here, up to the brim, wherever. That means the clog is somewhere past this point, between here and the city sewer. Which means we would run a cable from here out that way. Now, if it's empty, but nothing's draining in the house, then that means the clog is somewhere that way. Which means we potentially could run a cable from here under the house to clear it. It doesn't always work. Sometimes we have to go inside and pull a toilet. But for the most part, this clean out will be very, very useful for your plumber. So if you're at your house and you're watching this video and you're waiting for a plumber to come over, I would definitely recommend you go outside and see if you can find your clean out so you can save him a lot of time and potentially save yourself some money. Just one more thing I gotta mention is sometimes these clean outs, they love to put them in bushes like this or in areas like this, in here or over here. Every house is different, but sometimes your clean out might be in there. So to find it, you gotta look a little, you gotta get in here, kind of move things around and stuff and kind of really look. Because there's a lot of times where we'll go out somewhere and someone will say, oh, I looked everywhere, I couldn't find a clean out. But then we come out, we start crawling around in their bushes and we find it. Now, another scenario is you've done your due diligence, you've looked around the house as much as you can, and you're certain there's no clean out anywhere. And your plumber comes and looks and he doesn't find a clean out either. Now, I would say there's a 98% chance you have a clean out on your house. But the problem is it's buried below ground. In that case, your plumber most likely either needs to run a camera to locate it, or he needs to run a snake and have an assistant come outside and listen for the snake below ground to find out where your clean out is. But we get calls all the time where people are like, oh, I looked everywhere for my clean out. I couldn't find one. I don't think we have one on our house. You need a clean out by code. And this has been this way for decades. For decades, going back to 1970, you need to have a clean out on a house. So if you don't have one for some reason, it's most likely because someone did a repair in the past who didn't know what the code was and they just removed the clean out for whatever reason. But we've done like thousands of sewer calls and there's always a clean out. There's like a 1% chance that there's no clean out on your property, and it's because somebody did something they shouldn't have. So basically I made this video just to help people out. You know, if you have a plumber coming out, it'd be helpful. If you have a clean out prepared for him, it'll make the job go so much smoother and save you some money. You won't have to pull a toilet and go inside with all his equipment. And that's just the best outcome. But if you have any questions or anything, feel free to drop a comment. Or you could even give us a call if you like. But again, this is Gary with Ultra Plumbing, and just letting you know, if you have a home, you're a renter, whatever, if you live in a building, you should know where your sewer cleanout is, because it could be very important if you ever have a backup.